Hare Krishna, 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗶. Many devotees ask this question, why do devotees get disturbed when really bad things happen in their life? And this does happen. Many devotees who are in fact practicing Krishna consciousness or devotion for 20 years, 25 years, when their near and dear ones pass away, especially if young son or daughter, if he or she passes away, devotees become really disturbed. I've seen devotees leaving Krishna consciousness because of this. So, or maybe a devotee gets cancer and he's completely disturbed and his rounds are off, and they leave devotion. So, in 𝗙liche𝗶𝗹𝗶 Thakur's time, there was a person who was his initiated disciple. He was running a program in his house, and he had Gaunata deities installed in his house by 𝗙liche𝗶𝗹𝗶 Thakur, and his daughter, she got sick and she died. And he took those deities of Gaunata and threw in Ganges, and he left devotion. And that's the amount people can get disturbed. So why does it happen if they're practicing devotion? Why they have to get disturbed? They know, every devotee knows death is natural. Every devotee knows we are not this body. Every devotee has been preaching their entire life these basic concepts, and when it really happens, then they get disturbed. Why is it? Well, my understanding is, it's my take, what my observation is, that devotees largely they practice Krishna consciousness, they practice the process of Krishna consciousness, but they don't go deep in that. What I mean by this is, suppose if you ask a person, okay, how do you get energy? That person will answer you, okay, I get energy when I eat food. Now, what do you eat in food? I eat bread, I eat butter, I drink juice, and I get energy. But then you can ask another question. You can ask a deeper question. What is there in the food which gives you energy? And then he might say, oh, okay, there are proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, etc. And then you can ask another question. What is there in carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins which gives you energy? And then he might say, okay, there are certain molecular combinations in proteins, carbohydrates, which actually activates ATP in our, you don't have to understand this ATP or whatever. So by the way, full form of ATP is adenosine triphosphates, or I think so, if I remember correctly. But anyway, there is ATP which gives energy to the cell. This chemical gives energy to the cell. Okay, so that's the same thing. So this process of Krishna consciousness, chanting, hearing, preaching, we're all doing that, and that's very nice. But what is there in this process which is actually helping us to advance? That is realizations. Just like food gives energy, why? Because it's protein, carbohydrates, vitamins. This process nourishes our soul and helps us to advance. How? By giving us realizations. That's the important point. So I think devotees are practicing this process, but they're not getting realizations. Why they're not getting realizations? Because first of all, the aim is not realizations. The aim is to follow the process, and that's it. So in that sense, the process has become largely mechanical, or the concepts are not clear. Why we are following the process? So, but then you can ask the question, what is there in those realizations that helps us to advance in Krishna consciousness? What is the core of the realizations which helps you to advance in Krishna consciousness? What is there in proteins, multivitamins, which gives you energy? That was ATP. What is there in those realizations which give you advancement in Krishna consciousness? That is a desire to serve and attain God. That's what Krishna says, mām-icchhāptum dhananjaya. All realization, the foundation of all realizations is this desire to serve and attain Him. If that is there, then you get realizations, and then your process is complete. So any process of Krishna consciousness which is not giving you realizations, any realizations which is not founded, which is not based on this very desire to serve and desire to attain Krishna, that process is a failure. So you can follow this process for millions of lives. Bahu janma jadi kare shravana kirtan, tabu to na paaye Krishna pade prem dhan. We will not advance in Krishna consciousness, and if we don't advance in Krishna consciousness, it's a hollow, empty structure. And when really you get disturbed in life, when really something happens in your life, like up and downs, then you will get disturbed. Srila Prabhupada says the test in advancement in Krishna consciousness is that you will not get disturbed. Anybody who is nourishing his soul by realizations and this desire to serve and attain Krishna, he will never get disturbed in his life, no matter what happens, no matter if he comes face to face with death. So that is my understanding. So I think I can request all devotees to follow this process, but understand why you're following. Try to get realizations through this process, and solidly build a foundation on which your realizations will rest. That foundation is desire to serve and attain Krishna. Hare Krishna.